What's going on, guys? Victor here from Dexter Outdoors, and we got this stud mangrove snapper. I'm going to show you guys how to fillet up using this 6-inch Sani Safe Dexter knife. All of the knives I'm going to be using in today's video are going to be linked in the description box below, including the skinning knife a little bit later. So, mangrove snapper, got really big scales, super delicious fish. A lot of people eat them whole, so what they'll do is they'll gut them. Well, they'll leave the head on or off, but we're going to go ahead and do the traditional Western way, and I'm going to show you how to take the sides off, or the fillets. So first thing I'm going to do is come and see where the head meat ends. So I always feel around with my thumb for that soft spot. Here's the skull, here's the head meat. I'm just going to take the tip of my knife and I'm just going to work down the outline of the fish, making sure I'm in contact with bone at all times and not going to the other side. All the way down to the tail. And once we have that, we can continue to go all the way down the length of the fish to the tail, making sure we feel the bone the entire time. And you basically do that until you get to the backbone, like I did right there. Once you get to the backbone, flip him around, take his pec fin up right here. Now you're gonna go from the top of your cut down to here. Be a little aggressive with it, because like I said, they have pretty thick scales. We're going to flip them back around, and now you're going to see this is all exposed. So snapper and grouper, as you're about to see, have some pretty thick ribs, and you want to make sure you go over these ribs. Those are the ribs I'm talking about right there. You don't want to go through them, but over them. Okay, we continue our cut. Continue all the way down to the tail. Finish it off like that, and what do you know? You got a beautiful side of a mangrove snapper. There are the ribs I'm talking about. Do not want to go through this, but over it, because if you go through it, you're just going to end up taking it off when you fillet it anyway. You would end up taking it off there. I'm going to rinse my hands real quick. Okay, we got that side, and the reason I like a knife like this, smaller fish like this, I like a shorter knife, like a 6-7 inch, and I like something sturdy, so I could really break through those scales of a snapper or a grouper. That's why I like this knife. So I'm going to do the same thing. Tip of my knife close to the head, work down towards the tail, really making sure I'm not going through the fish's bones. And then I'll go back. This time I'll go from the tail up to the head, and I'll make sure I feel the actual skeletal structure. And you basically do that part until you get to the backbone, which runs along the mid-length of the fish. Once you get to there, then I'll do that same thing that I did from the top all the way down, separating the head meat. And you gotta break through these pin bones right here, these pesky pin bones. Okay, and now the rib cage is exposed. We're gonna go over that rib cage. And there you go. There's the second half of your fillet. So as you guys see, there's almost no meat. You can hear that. That's me running my knife along those bones. It's pretty translucent through there. You left those ribs on there as well. Now, since we live on a canal, we're gonna poke the eyeballs and we would dispose of it, but I gotta save this for a thumbnail. Okay, now, for breaking through bones and breaking through scales, I like that short, stiff knife. But something more delicate, like the skinning process, Dexter makes a 9-inch narrow fillet knife, which is really nice, especially for larger fish like mahi or dolphin that have a wide structure. You have that space, you have that whole 9 inches of the blade to work with. So to skin it, I put my fillet at the very edge of the fillet table. That way my knife can sit nice and flat, and we're going to go from the tail end, always starting from the tail end towards the head. And it's really important to have a nice sharp knife when you do this. So we're just going to go. I have my left hand trailing the whole time. I'm just making nice long strides Until we do that, you're going to flip it over. As you guys see, there's no meat left on the snapper. Snapper are very easy to skin because they have a thick skin structure. And a lot of people, including myself, will actually eat snapper with the skin on. Very delicious. And if you were to do that before you went ahead and filleted anything, I would take a kitchen knife, a spoon, a fork, rub all the scales off, and your skin is ready to go to eat. But we're going to go ahead and toss this. Now, all you have left, no ribs left because we took them all off. Pin bones. Pin bones run from the head about halfway down the length of the fish towards the tail. And what you can do is if you flip them around, here's the bloodline. That's where they run, along the bloodline. So about halfway, we're going to go on one side of the bloodline. Now we go on the other side of the bloodline. And a lot of people use tweezers to get rid of these pin bones because there is some waste associated with removing them, but not much. And you feel around to see if there's any bones left. Our fillet looks nice and ready for the kitchen. And that's all there is to it. Now you guys will become a pro. So like I said, both these knives are going to be found in the description box below. The 6-inch Sani Safe, the 9-inch narrow fillet. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. And until that next fillet video, guys, see ya.